Hello and welcome to today's video. Today's video is 31 Days of Halloween, Day 8, Slime Monster. To make my slime monster, I'm going to take some green Primo clay and some translucent Primo clay and mix it together. I'm going to use some foil to build up the body a little bit. So to start off, I'm just going to soften up each block of clay, and then I'm going to start blending them together. So I don't want to mix them completely, but I don't want as much of a marble effect as I have on some of my previous sculptures. So once I get it mostly mixed, I'm going to go ahead and start doing the legs of the slime monster. So he's going to have two legs, and I'm going to cover those legs completely with the Primo Sculpey mixture that I mixed up with the green and translucent. So with the first leg done, I'm going to add a little bit of a short wire to the top here to give it some support when I attach the body. And that'll also give me a little bit of an air hole there so I don't get any air trapped in it. I went ahead and did the second one. I'm just going to add some texture to them. I want it to look like the whole thing's kind of a drippy mess. So I want to do some different grooves in it, and then I'll also add some layers later on of some kind of like drips of slime on it. So once I'm happy with how this looks, I'm going to go ahead and start on the body. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a complete foil base, but I'm not going to cover it all the way. So I'm going to cover the lower half, and I'll get the legs attached there. But I want it to be able to actually put slime in the slime monster and have it come out. So I'm going to have some openings, and I'll have like little holes in it. And then I'm also going to have an opening in the back where I can pour the slime in. So to start off, I'm just going to add several individual sections of clay, and I'll leave, like I said, some spaces and put some holes in it for that slime to come out. Now as I'm going along, I am pressing that against the existing clay. I want it to bond to it, and I want it to fall apart even though I want it to have some holes in it. And so I'm adding a back layer here to catch or to hold more of the slime. I thought the slime needs to be a little bit higher up so it'll reach out or go out of those holes I create. Then I'm going to go ahead and make his head. And then I want to make him a couple of arms. So I'm going to keep the arms attached and layer that. Just take the head off and layer that in there. And then I'll attach that head back on there after I sculpt out the fingers for the arms. I just gave him two fingers just so they looked a little more like arms, and I'm going to go in and sculpt the facial details of the head. Just want to do some indentions for the eyes and like his nose area and like where his mouth would be. I didn't want to have it to be super distinct. I didn't want to sculpt eyes for it because I wanted it to look like the whole creature was made out of some kind of green slime. Now I'm just going to use my X-Acto knife to cut out some holes for the slime to come out. And I'll use the ball tool to kind of smooth those out. Sometimes when you cut that clay with the X-Acto knife, you get kind of a rough edge. And so by going back in with the ball tool, I can smooth those out and also make the holes a little bit bigger, and hopefully that works for my slime to come out of. Then I'll just use my smaller ball tool to go in and add some more texture detail. And I'll cut another hole or two here. So I have a few more options for the slime to come out of. And I'm not as worried about having this me on the back, but I thought kind of towards the back and the side would look good. And maybe those would be visible from the front if the slime's coming out of there. Now the next thing I want to do is take some pieces of the clay and roll out into snakes and make these like long drips of slime that I'll start towards the top of the monster and layer it over and kind of weave them back and forth a little bit, just so they should have this kind of flowing, dripping effect. I do want to make sure while I'm adding these, I'm not covering up any of those holes. I can have it next to the holes, or even some of them I had coming out of the holes, but I didn't want to cover up any of my holes and create, an area that blocks where the slime would come out. So now I've done several of those and kind of extended them out past his feet. I think he's ready to bake. Now it's time to bake our clay. Remember, always bake your clay according to package instructions. Now that my slime monster is baked and I let him cool down, I'm using these pliers to pull the foil out. Now originally I was hoping that this foil would pull out in bigger pieces, but I had to take it real easy. I didn't want to put too much pressure on it, so I ended up just shredding the foil. But I did, after several minutes, I was able to get all the foil out of there with the pliers. And then I just went in with a needle tool to kind of clean some of that out, and I took the X-Acto knife to kind of even out those openings for the slime. There's some rough edges there and a little bit of clay in there that I wanted to kind of trim out before I put any slime in this guy. And here is the finished slime monster made out of Primo Sculpey. Hope you enjoyed this sculpt. I'm going to just take a quick look at him before I put any slime in there. So you can see the opening. It's not too big, but I'm hoping it'll work. I think he is kind of a nice drippy look. To me, he reminds me of maybe like a Scooby-Doo monster, especially back in the old days in the Scooby-Doo Where Are You? That's definitely my favorite Scooby-Doo series. So I'm going to go ahead and put some wax paper down because I don't want to get any slime on my canvas here. And once he's set up, I'll go ahead. I've got this Nickelodeon slime. I actually found it at Target on clearance. It came with this bubble blower tube or something, which I might use for another sculpture of some kind. But I thought, give this slime a try. Get it all as much in there. It's a little bit awkward trying to get the slime into the opening, and I think I might try another one of these monsters, probably not for Halloween, but maybe later on, and try a few different things, like maybe a little bit of a bigger opening in the back, maybe a little bit higher up, and maybe open my holes for the slime to come out up, and maybe do some lower ones. But it did have a nice dripping effect. Just in case you're curious, this section of the video is going about 6 times the normal speed. So it's really, really slow coming out, which it really depends on the consistency of the slime. Alright, well I hope you enjoyed today's video, and remember, never stop creating. Bye! If you'd like a piece of your Halloween artwork featured in my final 31 Days of Halloween video, please hashtag Andrew's 31 Days of Halloween 2019 on Instagram, or email it to me at andrewschmidtclaycreations@gmail.com. I will put this information down in the description box below so you don't have to copy it off of the screen. Deadline for submissions is October 26th, and 1 submission per artist.